Welcome, 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 welcome back to Paul, Coach, and Patrick, the Fantasy Football Podcast.
We didn't agree to that.
I didn't. That's just off the top of the dome. That's the talent in this room, Paul. That's the talent in this room, Paul.
I didn't know.
This is the top 10
What's going on?
quarterbacks and tight ends.
I'm with you right now. I'm very surprised by what just happened.
So this week we're doing the top 10 quarterbacks and tight ends. We have a breakdown of everything. We're going to talk about a little bit of news beforehand because guess what, Paul? We got a Hard Knocks episode with the Detroit Lions. Woo, baby. Woo. I'm so excited to talk about this, Paul. I'm so excited to talk about it because we had to avoid each other afterwards. I watched it last night and I was so fucking hyped. Okay, let's talk about the other things before we get into that because we're going to dive deep into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Browns refusing to trade Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the way they utilize him, Nick Chubb's not really a receiving back or the type of receiving back, despite the fact that they drafted a kid in the, I believe it was the 4th round this year.
Yeah.
They don't want to get rid of him. He's a great receiving back, a nice third down presence to have, a good dump.
He's a perfect combination with Nick Chubb in that backfield, and one of the best dynamic dual running backs in the NFL. I'd say just behind AJ Green and Aaron Jones, or AJ Dillon,
Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon,
and AJ Dillon. Sorry, a little tongue tied today. Yeah, I would say it's good on 2 combination, but I think we have a third contender in the mix this year, and we'll talk about it later, and you'll understand. I'll bring that back up when I talk about it. We have a lot going on with Deshaun Watson, so the NFL is trying to overturn
his 6-game suspension. That was
at least a full season. He's also trying to settle these lawsuits, and it's just we don't. I mean, I definitively can't say Deshaun Watson is gonna play this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's possible, but there's a lot of Deshaun Watson lovers out there of like he didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, why would 20 plus women come out? Like, this is crazy. Rest this man.
24. I think it was 24.
I mean, it's a really weird legal bounds because he didn't force himself onto anyone, from what I understand, and that's the whole crux of this thing. Because if he did, it's still fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we don't know where Deshaun Watson's gonna land or if he's gonna even play this season. A lot of uncertainty there.
A lot of uncertainty. Initially, the NFLPA said that they weren't going to contest whatever was recommended by the judge. And she recommended a 6-game suspension. The NFL, itself thought it should be longer. Thought it should be a year. I think this is a lot of a PR move, and I don't mean to kind of diminish what's going on with Deshaun Watson, but considering how they handled the Ray Rice incident,
and the NFL is a spineless corporation, like every other corporation. They're all spineless. They all meander, but in this case, they're
afraid about what's going to come out between now and if he shows up on the field. And
and I think I don't think they're doing it for the right reason, but their decision is kind of parallel to the right thing to do. Yeah. They're not doing the right thing, but they're doing parallel to the right thing.
Right thing for the wrong reason.
Exactly. Couldn't say that myself, Paul. But yeah, we don't know. A lot of uncertainty there. A lot of uncertainty in the Browns organization. Baker Mayfield has first game.
As a Panther started the first preseason game. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know who's getting that job.
You're not gonna know until maybe I would even say like a week before the regular season.
Yeah, they're figuring this out in training camp. They're not figuring it out in the preseason games. I mean, they kind of have a good idea in the preseason games, but training camp is a good indication of who's going to start the season.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see who gets that job.
Yeah, we have the belt here. Back. It wasn't here last week.
Wasn't here for the kicks.
I was talking to Brian today about this, and he needs to get a new goddamn belt because he's forever fucking cursed. Forever cursed. This cursed man who's never gonna get that belt. We need to get a new belt. We have to spend some decent money on this next belt, and it needs to be a little bit bigger so it fits all our fat asses. Because that's what I'm fucking talking about, Paul.
Because I mean, like at least half our league is just
fatties. We're fatties. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck. God bless America. So Zach Wilson, he had a torn MCL. People were
torn meniscus.
Meniscus. Sorry.
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead. You explain it.
So he had torn meniscus. He went down. Initially, it looked really bad, and it
non-contact injury.
Non-contact. Thank you. And considering Mekhi Becton went out with a season-ending knee injury as well about a week ago, this would have been really bad for the Jets' offense. It still kind of is his uncertain for week one, and it's very concerning because you want him to be there getting first team reps with Garrett Wilson, with Moore, with all of these new targets that they've acquired, and it's very frightening if you're a Jets fan and you're looking at this because he has a unique kind of arm. I would say, it's not quite Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, but it's up there. Yeah. And if he can put that all together, it could be a very good thing for the.
Yeah, and the second year is the year to develop. Really the year to start blossoming into your third year of where you're complacent of what type of quarterback you're going to be, and it's a very crucial year to be for a quarterback. His second year, it's where Josh Allen he kind of stepped up a little bit, but in his third year, that's where he came out into shine. Yeah. But he needed that second year to kind of get a little, and I think that's for every quarterback in the system. There are the abnormal, starters. I can't name any offhand, but they're definitely out there. Like Justin Herbert, for instance. Yeah, he can just go out day one on the field and just tear it up. But yeah.
But I mean, you look through history. I mean, you look at Peyton Manning. They went 3-13 his first year. He interceptions, touchdowns. He led the league in interceptions. Yeah. And now. Hall of Fame.
They're considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
The Sheriff, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know if we've said this. Zach Wilson's projected 2 to 4 weeks out for 2 to 4 weeks, which is pretty minimal for
a torn meniscus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of showing what how far we come in the medical field. How much we progress, and I mean. It's still like a year for an ACL, but I would in the next 20, 30, 40 years that might drop, which is crazy. Crazy to think. Let's fucking talk about it, Paul. I'm too pumped. I'm just too pumped. Fucking Lions Hard Knocks, baby. Dan Campbell comes out. His beginning speech got my heart pumping, dude. I was cheering with him. I was like, I believe in you. I believe in you. I was drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. I am ready to die for this fucking man. I love this man so much.
We need grit, gentlemen.
We need grit. We need grit. When he was talking about going to bat for them, he's like, hey, some of you aren't going to make this team. I love how his honesty. He's like, some of you aren't going to make this team, and I am going out for you guys right now. I've been in your situation. I've been where you've been, and I want to build you up. They're going hard as fuck in training camp. Yeah. They're going hard as fuck. Other teams aren't hitting like this at the beginning. He's like, I want to start you off, getting reps in, and then building like a callus, so you don't get injured on the road. Fucking great thinking, and so Pat McAfee was actually talking about it, and he's like, I've never seen a training camp like this. Never seen. Dude, this is Pat McAfee.
He's crazy, though. He's fucking insane. He's awesome.
Insane. So he's doing down-ups. He's doing 40 down-ups. Now, look at him. You watched all 40 down-ups going on, and you're like, oh, I could easily do 40 down-ups. Go do fucking 40 down-ups right fucking now, and then tell me how easy that is. It's not. It's not. And then imagine yourself in fucking pads, and then fucking break your wrist because your dog's tripping you and shit.
He's in the bullets he's in the fucking trenches taking bullets with his voice. God damn it. I've messed it up. I'm so sad. But He's in the goddamn trenches taking bullets with his boys, bro.
He is.
He's not the cavalry. He's not coming in. He's not coming in on horses. No. He's in the fucking trenches taking fucking bullets, bro.
I love this man. I believe in this. I believe in him. He's such a great coach. He just sticks to the fucking. He is who he is.
I love how
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
I love how he didn't love how they were playing during the practice, and they had the music going. He's like, cut the fucking music. Someone cut the fucking music. I don't want to see this shit.
Cut the fucking music. He's going off on it. Yeah, and just yelling at some poor person that's just like trying to cut the music. Oh god, oh. Yeah. Okay, so I was talking about dynamic duos in the NFL, and I think we have a third contender, which is the Detroit Lions. We have Swift, the receiving back, and then we have Jamal Williams. Let me talk a little bit about Jamal Williams. That man believes. That man's drinking the Kool-Aid too, and I love that man. Yeah. God, his speech, him crying, he's like, I'll go back for you fucking guys. I'm leaving everything on the fucking field for you guys.
He breaks it down, and you can just tell he was getting really emotional. And that, like, bro,
hey, I love you. But like that, dude, this mentality here, it's a completely different organization from 2 years prior. Completely different. Fucking Matt Patricia, he could have gone kicking rocks, and fucking his players didn't give a fuck about him. Dan Campbell, he's out there, he's doing the work, he's putting in, he's hiring the best coaching staff, all fucking former players.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, like, literally the coach. We have Deuce Staley, Aaron Glenn as our offensive and defensive coordinators,
and them going at it when they're doing scrimmage.
Oh my god,
11 on 11.
I love
talking the shit.
I love how Deuce Staley was like when Aaron Glenn was like writing something down. He's like, "You're not writing shit down. You're not writing shit down. Get the fuck out of here.
You fake scribble and that fucking piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking bitch. Fucking." He's like, "I love this man. I really love this man." Yeah, we talk a bunch of shit to each other. That's fucking great. And like that whole mentality of that whole organization. These guys are ready to fucking win, to take names. I'm telling you, this offense is a top 10 offense in the league, and that defense I think is going to go to bat and is going to outperform what they were fucking speculated. Now, one big part of the defense, Hutchinson, baby.
First round pick, second overall, Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden fucking Hutchinson.
That sweep in the preseason game, man, he just just gone.
He looks good.
He
looks good.
I love how they're in the coaches meeting, and they're like, so you guys think we hit on Hutchinson? And they're like, yeah. I love how our defensive coordinator's like, yeah, 100%.
100%. I think the best part about the whole Aiden Hutchinson story is the Hawk play where Hawkinson trucks him over. He doesn't expect Hawkinson, who lost a lot of weight. He's skinnier. He comes out of his blind side and just hits him. And, he wasn't prepared for that, gets knocked on his ass. And it wasn't... The reporter asked Dan Campbell, he's like, "Hey, what's with that hit?" As inferring like, "Hey, why are you hitting your second overall pick? Why you want to injure him?" And Dan Campbell took it as, "Oh no, he's learning from this experience." He didn't even think about, "Hey, this is my second overall pick."
Yeah, he's taking a mental photograph of like what just happened, because he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get off the line. I'm gonna get past this fucking tackle. I'm gonna get to the quarterback." That's all he was thinking. Yeah. And then Hawk just fucking hits him.
Just gets the little nudge, little tight end nudge, bump off, and then fucking go. And yeah, I mean,
he's like, "Goddamn!" He's like, "Goddamn!" And he tries to get back and he covers. He's like, "Goddamn! I wasn't gonna get there."
Yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah. If Dan Campbell not worrying about his second pick, getting injured, he's more worried about him learning a lesson from that. But he's not gonna get injured.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Steelers in the '70s. They won 4 Super Bowls. You think they weren't doing padded practices every chance they could?
Yeah.
I mean,
like full contact, ready to go. These new padded helmets, they're looking goofy, but if they're helping out, fucking more power to them. I love it.
Really heavy?
Heavy, yeah. I can't imagine. Like, even with a helmet on all day, like the first time you wear a helmet for the whole like practice, your neck gets really tight. You're like, God damn. I can't imagine adding extra weight. And then though it might be light, like, if you pick it up, it's like nothing. But you're like, after wearing it for a while, that I understand how much that is. And then it's also adding to the whiplash effect, I would think, because it's more mass moving. I don't know. But anyway, I I'm so pumped for these episodes of Hard Knocks.
We have, I believe, 3 more.
Not 100% sure, but I think 4, but it might be 3. So, quick thing before we start, we're gonna go into wide receivers and running backs next week. But we're gonna start off with tight ends actually, and I don't know what I was gonna talk about.
I want to mention this, and before we start this, I saw on Pat McAfee's podcast August 2nd, so this was a while ago. Apparently, people in Indianapolis think Matt Ryan's kind of a dick, and he gave his 2 cents. So I tend to agree with it. When you have a quarterback who's been in the league 13 years, you want him to be that alpha dog and come in there and say, okay, this is how we fucking do it. This is how we're gonna fucking do it. I don't care what you did beforehand. I don't care about Carson Wentz. I'm here now. I'm the quarterback. We're gonna fucking do this. Run this offense the way I fucking want to, or the way that me and the coach decide we're gonna run this offense. And if we change something, you better know what the fuck you're doing. Like I remember Monday Night Football in, I believe it was 2016. Matt Ryan, I think he was mic'd up for this game, but you can quite clearly hear him when
Get to the fucking line.
Yeah, get to the fucking line. He screams at the offensive lineman, like, get to the fucking line.
And I think that's any quarterback. If you're in a rush situation, you're looking the clock drop down. I don't care who you are, if you're the nicest person in the world, get to the fucking line. You hear that from you hear that from your quarterback, you're gonna get to the fucking line. Yeah. So I don't think that would portray Matt Ryan to being a bad person.
I think he came in. He's coming in with a mentality that we're not necessarily the most talented out wide, but hopefully Pittman can step up. They got a couple young pieces in there, but with the retirements that they've had, I just it can't just be Taylor, can't just be Jonathan Taylor all day. It can't just.
You're gonna kill that man.
Yeah.
Okay, well. Let's start off, Paul. Let's get to the top 10 tight ends.
Okay.
I'm going to start with my number 10 because I have it pulled up, and this is going to be controversial. I already know it because I have him so late on this list, and I'm going to explain why. Kyle Pitts. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. ESPN projected him 3. I don't think he's going to go through. I don't think he's going to get third numbers.
When you said this is going to be immediately I thought Kyle Pitts.
Yes. He had 68 receptions last year, which is just pretty good, but yeah, 1,026 yards. He had 1 touchdown on 111 targets, or 110 targets. My apologies. Matt Ryan's gone. The quarterback situation is not definite, and I don't.
Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. I really like Desmond Ridder, but I think it's going to take a while.
I cannot trust that, especially. I mean, I believe Kyle Pitts is a great player.
With Drake London, it doesn't look to be severe, but he did. That is one thing we didn't mention. He had a knee injury, but again, it doesn't look to be severe. But it might hamper his reps in the preseason.
Yeah,
going into the regular season.
Yeah, I have him so low on the list because I don't believe I think the quarterback situation there is going to affect him. And only having 1 touchdown last year is huge. Most of his fantasy points came from his yardage and his receptions, but not the high and not the most receptions in a season, but still he did good. He finished in the top 10 fantasy tight ends just because of his yards, but
yeah, I mean,
1 touchdown is also pretty scary. I don't think he's a red zone tight end. I believe he's a downfield open, but I don't think he can all in. And I know that sounds, again, controversial. All this is controversial, and I may be completely wrong. He is a big receiver. He's a big receiving back. I just don't think the Atlanta Falcons have the ability to give him the ball in the red zone properly, where he could be able to catch it.
Utilize his talents.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. I
have him so low.
I can understand that. For me, at number 10, I have Dallas Goedert. I think this is one that I wasn't really like certain on. But you look at the stats: 56 receptions, 830 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He averaged 14.8 yards per reception, which was, I believe, second. Might have been third, but ridiculous for a guy who didn't see most of the tight end one work for first half last year before Zach Ertz was traded, and now he's the tight end one in Philadelphia. Now it's a running offense, and they run the football
a lot.
Probably the second most in the NFL behind the Baltimore Ravens.
Jalen Hurts scrambles a lot, but I think having AJ Brown there is going to open up the field.
Yeah, especially in the middle, and let them.
It's going to take the heat off Goddard just a little bit there. Who else is in the receiving core?
They have right now. They have, I believe, they still have Rager there. It's
so.
And Devontae Smith.
Okay, yeah.
But
so they have some guys there to also take off the heat,
and we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at my number 9, I have Dawson Knox. So he has 49 receptions on 9 touchdowns, 587 yards, and 71 targets. His targets are a little bit low. He's touchdown dependent, and he's also on a team where Josh Allen does spread out the ball pretty well, but he also has a lot of places to throw the ball to. I
would say no more Emmanuel Sanders there, so you're not like looking at him taking some of those targets. So where are they going to go?
Up a little bit.
It might go to Gabriel. Obviously, a lot of them will go to Stephon Diggs, but Dawson Knox could be an integral part of this offense.
Yeah. So I do have him at number 9. I do believe he's gonna go up this year. I think he's gonna get more touchdowns. Just in. I don't believe they're gonna depend on their running game as much.
See, that's kind of where my fear with Dawson Knox is, because I really do like James Cook coming out of Georgia.
Yeah, and they did get James Cook in the running game, and if he does blow up, that is a fear for Dawson Knox getting those end zone receptions, for touchdown receptions. And he is a very touchdown dependent. If you get a touchdown, you're good to go. If you're not, bad week. So your number 9, Paul.
My number 9 is Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki. Gesicki.
Yes, they franchise tag Gesicki, and I think it's for a purpose. They have explosive playmakers in this offense. They have Tyreek Hill. They have Jalen Waddle. But adding the Gesicki there and forcing defense to kind of deal with the two I just mentioned.
The two edge wide receivers where Gesicki can float in the middle and probably pick up something going against, maybe a linebacker.
This is not the greatest stat line, but it's kind of ridiculous considering, he wasn't really targeted much of last year. He had 73 receptions for 780 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 10.7 yards per reception, which is, I believe, fourth? No, I'm sorry.
No, that's pretty. I think it's pretty low.
Pretty low.
So he had 112. He had 73 receptions and 112 targets. Sorry. Yeah. So he does. The targets are there. I think this is gonna go down with having fucking Cheetah in the building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think they are gonna depend a little bit more on the red zone, and I think he's gonna be a little bit more open.
It is pretty low. That is actually not fourth at all. That is probably closer to like 10th. But still, I believe in this offense. I still believe in Tua. I think that he hasn't had the weapons to get him Jalen Waddle back, someone he's comfortable throwing the football to, and now Tyreek Hill, who has
he can bomb the ball too, and
ridiculous speed. Like a lot of people have given up on Tua. I still have not.
Yeah, and last year was supposed to be his development year, but I think he's doing an okay job. But yeah, to give him the targets, that's kind of what Tua needs. At my number 8, I have Dallas Goedert for the aforementioned reasons. I believe he's better than my first 2, just because I kind of believe in Jalen Hurts, to be honest. I think he can. I think with his legs, he's going to open up the ground game a little bit. I think that backfield in Philly is going to open up a ground game a little bit. Yeah, his targets were there, even though we was spreading time with Ertz, the beginning half of the season. And the yards are there.
Yeah, it is impressive considering he was splitting time for half of the season pretty much.
Yeah. And again, AJ Brown there is going to take a little bit of the heat off of him, especially in the red zone, and I think he's going to get a few more touchdowns this year.
Yeah, and you might see that bump up to about 7 or 8 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I think he's going to be a little higher. Okay, you're number 8, Paul.
My number 8 is Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz
out of Arizona,
and it's 74 receptions for 763 yards and 5 TDs. Averaged 10.3 yards per reception. I look at this offense and I say when Hopkins comes back, you're gonna have Hopkins, you're gonna have Hollywood, you're gonna have Kyler Murray with the running threat that he is. This is gonna be a rather explosive offense. Zach Ertz getting a lot of red zone work.
Wow. Okay, so at my number 7, I actually have Zach Ertz as well. He had 112 targets last year, which is a lot. I think that's going to go down a little bit just with Hollywood being there. But I think the touchdowns.
Hopkins comes back after.
Yeah, and Hopkins coming back as well. But I think it should balance out pretty well. His targets are going to go down, I believe. His touchdowns, I believe, are going to go up. His yards are going to go up. And Kyler's only getting better and better. He got paid. And I think he's kind of forming into himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. To be able to get that ball down the middle and get it to the guys he needs to get it to, and with those deep threats of Hopkins and Hollywood, there's going to be more room in the middle for Zach Ertz to slip on by and get the ball thrown to him. I mean, let's be realistic. Kyler Murray is he has a fucking arm for a small dude. He has a fucking arm. He kind of reminds me of Joey Zarnick. Then a small dude, just a ridiculous fucking throwing arm.
Someone we personally know, not someone you, but or knew, I guess.
Yeah.
But at my number
7,
I have T.J. Hawkinson.
Hawk with the fat cock.
Yeah. So it's 61 receptions for 583 yards and 4 touchdowns. And averaged 9.6 yards per reception last year. I think it's just going to get bumped up. You look at Jameson Williams coming in this offense, probably October-ish. Amon St. Brown had 90 receptions last year. That might go down, but you never know. But I think that having a security blanket for Jared Goff, and you're hoping when you draft Hawkinson that DeAndre Swift is a threat, and they're more concerned about him in the backfield than they are Hawkinson on the outside, and that's where he's going to eat.
Yeah, you forgot to mention DJ Chark. Oh, did you mention? Sorry.
No. I did forget
to mention him. Yeah, so that's another weapon.
And that's my point with this offense, and that's my point why he's higher on my list.
Yeah,
than some of these other guys.
I have him a little bit higher on my list. He had the 84 targets last year, which I think is gonna go down, but I believe he's gonna get more red zone opportunities because I think he's gonna slip on by, especially in those red zone situations. And he lost a lot of weight. I mentioned this earlier. Yeah. He lost a lot of weight. He's not as big. It doesn't make him a better blocking tight end. He's still a great blocking tight end. Don't get me wrong, but he lost a lot.
Don't go away, but.
Yeah, they did not go away, but he lost a lot of mass, which is going to help him. Which is going to help him in his receiving game, able to get up, to dive for balls, to reach out, and with the speed a little bit, and getting past those linebackers, because that's what ends up going to block him. Because all safeties and corners are going to be covering the rest of the guys. Hawkinson's going to be 1-on-1, or has to be double covered by linebackers, which he should be able to beat on the field. And speed, And so I do believe his touchdowns are going to go up. His yards are probably going to go up. His receptions are going to go up. I think his target's going to go down. Well, his receptions might go down as well. But I believe his yards and his touchdowns are going to go up. But yeah, definitely higher in the touchdowns. Only 4 touchdowns last year. It's just because he was covered. Every team knew to cover him because he was practically receiving number 1.
Infinitely more receiving threats out there.
And St. Brown kind of blew up in the end of last year. And they kind of...
I think it was like 127 yards in the last 7 games.
Yeah. So, I believe he's going to bump up. So I'm on my number 6, which is Mike Gesicki. So the 73 receptions, 112 targets, which is a lot. And now I know it was him and Waddle primarily splitting targets.
And now Tyreek Hill's there.
No, Tyreek Hill's there, so I think the target's going to go down. But I believe those yards are going to go up because I think he's going to slip in the middle of the field. And then
very similar to what we just talked about with Hawkinson. There's more receiving threats there.
Yeah, and
sorry, I don't mean to
interrupt
you, but I'm really interested to see what this backfield turns out to be. I think it's going to be Raheem Mostert, but Chase Edmonds he's a receiving threat, and if he's on the field, that's another threat that they have to account for.
I also think his 2 touchdowns is going to bump up. I definitely think it's going to bump up to at least 7. At least 7.
And that's what they franchise.
Red zone.
You're not going to franchise tag a guy that you think is not going to be productive.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, your number 7 or your number 6.
My number 6 is Kyle Pitts, and we talked about the receptions, the yards. I want to. This is crazy to me. This is first. This is 100% first as for tight ends in the NFL. He averaged 15.1 yards per reception.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Which is akin to wide receiver, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The guy is a wide receiver playing tight end.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's going to be covered.
Drake London. Now we talked about the injury to Drake London, and I apologize.
Oh, go ahead. You're fine.
We talked about that, and if he comes back fully healthy for week 1, this could be a scary guy. But he could also bust because of the quarterback situation.
Yes. Yeah, that's my big worry about him. That's why I have him so low on my list. I don't think he's going to get where he was last year. I think I'm not taking away from him because he's such a great player, and you put him on a decent team. I think he's top tight end, at least top 3 tight end on any good, team. You throw him in, Denver right now. He'd destroy. I mean, he'd be top tight end, But anyway, I digress. Oh, I forgot to put the ages of these guys on here on my list, but I started. So at number 5 is T.J. Hawkinson. He's 25 years old. Yeah, we talked about this. So we alluded to everything earlier. I think everything is going to go up for him. Targets are going to go down. Yards might go down. But I believe they're going to go up. And his touchdowns are definitely going up over the 4 touchdowns. So your number 5, Paul?
My number 5 is George Kittle.
Ooh, a little controversial there.
Controversial. My top 4 might be controversial. But yeah, George Kittle. I think this offense is going to be good. I really want to see what Trey Lance looks like before I'm committed to George Kittle.
Yep.
And with 71 receptions last year, 910 yards, 6 TDs. He averaged 12.8 yards per reception. I just want to see what this looks like with him there. And then you have not Raheem Mostert, but Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
In that backfield. And I'm curious to see what Ben Ayuk looks like this year. And they have Deebo Samuel coming back. We spoke about him last week.
I don't know the hype about Ayuk this year after the disappointing last year.
There is a lot of hype to Ayuk, but
there's always hype to him, but George Kittle really reminds me of Hawkinson. They look very similar too, which is crazy. Yeah. And we have my number 5, respectively. At my number 4, I have Darren Waller, 29 years old. I know this is pretty low for Darren Waller. Don't get me wrong. My fear is that Davante Adams is just going to chomp up those receptions. I think Derek Carr and Davante Adams are just going to go back to their college days, and they're just going to talk it up like good old buddies. And Darren Waller is going to get some crumbs left here and there. So he had 55 receptions on 665 yards. He only had 2 touchdowns, and he had 93 targets, which is pretty high. He only played 11 games last year. Fuck, I can't read what I said. He definitely came down. I believe he's going to have his 2019, 2020 type of stats because he digressed a lot last year just because of his injuries.
I
Yeah, just
I will say this: they have Hunter Renfro there.
Yep.
They obviously have Adams there. They paid him a whole ton of money, but with Waller being there, a lot of these guys that we mentioned, they've gotten new players in positions to help them out, and I think this helps him out a lot.
No, I definitely think it helps him out a lot. I think he's going to be he's going to get a lot more targets in the red zone for touchdowns. I think he's going to get some more deep balls. But I also think he's not going to be consistent in his yards. He's going to have, but this is for every tight end, I guess. But I think with him especially, just because
you're not gonna. I don't think he's going to be like Travis Kelce, averaging 1,000 yards for.
I think he has the talent too.
I don't know, but I think he can get up close to that. I think he can get up to 900 and possibly 8 touchdowns. That would be excellent.
Yeah,
because tight end's kind of like a wasteland, really.
Yeah, my fear is Derek Carr with the deep balls and just getting on target. I think Darren Waller can kind of helps him out, with catching balls because Carr's deep ball can be a little bit inaccurate, just a little bit. I'm not trying to put him down or anything, but yeah, I think he helps him out a lot with that. But I think a lot of his stuff is going to come from deep plays, long plays, or touchdowns. I don't think he's going to be a reception king. That's because he had 93 targets last year. I think that's going to have to drop because there's no way they have Devontae Adams there, and he's going to get more targets. Yeah, in 11 games, which is crazy. Yeah, that is true. That's a lot in 11 games. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to drop still. I think it might be close to 90 some targets this year, with Devontae Adams in 16 or games. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on Darren Waller. You're number 4, Paul?
Well, I said that tight end's kind of a wasteland after the draft. You're either going to get the top guys or you're not going to be able to find anyone. Well, I found someone last year who helped me to finish the championship. His name was Dalton Schultz.
That's ridiculous.
And he had 78 receptions last year for 808 yards and 8 touchdowns. He averaged 10.4 yards per reception. I think without Cooper there right now, he's the second guy there. And if CeeDee Lamb can step up, and with all the hate around Ezekiel Elliott, he still finishes running back 6 last year, which is ridiculous. And that's with a knee injury. If he comes into training camp healthy, this could be a really, really good offense. I'm looking for those receptions to bump up. I'm even looking for the yards to bump up because he didn't start going off until probably week 5 of last year.
Stolen. It was definitely stolen. I don't believe in Dallas. I'm going to put that out there. I don't have Dalton Schultz on my list because I don't believe in Dallas. I think they're getting old, and I think losing Amari Cooper is huge. And I think it's detrimental to their organization. I don't believe in them. I know it's crazy. I don't believe in Dallas, Paul.
I think
controversial statement, unpopular opinion. You can say what you want. I do not think Dallas is going to make the playoffs this year. No, that's a lot. It's heavy, right?
Well, if they don't, Sean Payton's waiting in the wings.
Yep, and yeah.
That's my number 4.
I love Sean Payton, and I would get behind Dallas at that. I think they're kind of a pretentious team. I hate them saying, we're America's team." Get out of here! Come on. I get it. Whatever. It's fucking every team should be America's team. Get out of here. Okay, sorry for going off on a tangent. My number 3 is George Kittle. He's 28 years old. So he had 71 receptions at 910 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 94 targets. Trey Lance at the helm now. I want to see what he can do. I think with his mobility, if he can get his precision down, it gets his quarterback coach tunes him up a little bit. I think he could do some damage. I want to see how Ayuk plays. And I think, having Brandon Ayuk, out there doing some stuff, and hopefully, have a quarterback that's going to throw it to him, and hopefully Ayuk can play to where everyone thinks he should be, Yeah. I think Kittle's going to do a little bit better this year.
He missed a couple games last year and kind of hampered his ability um do certain things, and I don't think this offense was fully formed. They lost Raheem Mostert week 1 of last year, which wasn't great. And I just spoke about what I think they're gonna do in Miami with Raheem Mostert right now.
Yeah. Deebo Samuel did step into the shoes of this offense, and now having him back there, him paid, him happy. I think they should do well, and I really hope George Kittle does, and I think as long as he's healthy this season, he should do okay. I think he's going to finish in the top 3.
My number 3 is Darren Waller, and
the baller.
Patrick might be concerned about Derek Carr's accuracy, long range accuracy. I'm not. I look at that game against the Chargers last year. Winning, you're in the playoffs. That was an amazing performance by Derek Carr. Also, the Cowboys game last year on Thanksgiving, one of the best games of the year last year. Derek Carr was fantastic. I think you have Josh McDaniels in this offense, running this offense now, and you look at when the Patriots were at their best, they were running a 2 tight end scheme, and they had an athletic guy. I think his name is Rob Gronkowski. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'd say they're gonna find ways to get him open and get him more receptions, even though he had 93 targets last year.
Yeah. Well,
I think we have a consensus number 1 and 2.
Yeah, number 1 and 2. So number 2, I'm just gonna say it. Mark Andrews, 26 years old, 107 receptions, 1,361 yards, 9 touchdowns, 153 fucking targets. That is insane.
That is ridiculous for a tight end.
So
in a running offense.
That
team that runs the football more than any other team.
Like he was breakout last year. I'm so I had him the year prior, and I enjoyed him having on my team, but I wasn't gonna pick him by anyone else. My concern is Lamar Jackson. He wanted to get paid, and he wants to get paid, and he wants that contract. He wants something,
Yeah.
and they can't or don't want to pay him yet.
No, it's not. He represents himself. He doesn't have an agent.
Oh, really?
So he represents himself. And my understanding from this is the Ravens have wanted to get a deal done with Lamar Jackson. He is kind of put it off because he says he wants to win, which is admirable. I will say that. He wants to win. He wants to win a championship before he worries about the money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the organization wants to get this deal done. They've been wanting to get this deal done. Just get this deal done. Have it in place. So we sitting here, people like us, are not contemplating, what happens without Lamar Jackson, and what happens if he gets injured, and they don't have him under contract, and what if it's a serious injury? It's gonna put him a year back or years back or something, and get this deal done. And we'll talk about this more later. But Mark Andrews very impressive last year.
Very impressive.
Finished as a tight end 1 last year, which is ridiculous because the tight end we both consensually have at number 1 has really kind of been on the tight end to be like. That's what Mark Andrews played as last year.
They lost Hollywood last year, or they lost Hollywood this year, which is good. It might put a little bit more heat and a little more pressure on Mark Andrews. Defensive
for Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota a couple years back, and I really like him. I think he averaged, I think it was 8 targets a game.
Yeah. Can he fill the void of Hollywood? That's the question.
That's the question.
That's the question we all want to know. And if he can't, there's going to be a lot more coverage on Mark Andrews, and he's not going to get, and he's going to regress from last year. But if Rashad Bateman can, he's going to Mark Andrews is going to have a fabulous year, and Lamar, playing to his full ability, it should be fine. Yeah. Number 1, Travis Kelce, 32 years old, 32. He's still out there. He's still out there catching balls, patting Mahomes, throwing them darts, dude. Just throwing straight darts, bro. 92 receptions, 1,125 yards, 9 touchdowns, and I do not have targets for him. Gosh darn it.
He averaged 12.2 yards per reception last year,
Ooh.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
58th in the league, including wide receivers.
that's
It's insane, dude. Tyreek Hill's gone, so he's gonna have a little bit more opportunities. But can they
fill that void with Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore? And
Yeah,
that's the question going in. Is
another
one of those
question.
guys can step up and fill that void.
I think
you know?
Juju helps a little bit. But I don't think it's even close to what Tyreek was there.
Yeah, I look at Sky Moore's speed. He ran a 4.39 at the combine. He was pretty impressive with Western Michigan. If Patrick Mahomes can build a rapport, you can have something similar to what you have with Tyreek Hill, but like not Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
No one's
Tyreek Hill. I just want to give you some stats here. For the last 6 seasons, he's had over 1,000 yards, and over the last 4 seasons, he's had over 90 receptions over the last 4 seasons.
Ridiculous.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, Patty Mahomes is making his day. That's our top tight ends. Let's get on to our quarterbacks. Go through these right quick. Controversial, hard. It's hard. Very weird list. I had to kind of adjust mine going, so don't judge me. I'm gonna start off with my number 10, and this is controversial. Don't get me wrong. He's number 10, but you'll understand why. Aaron Rodgers, 38 years old. He had 4,115 yards. That's 10th overall. 37 touchdowns was fourth, tied for fourth. He only had 4 interceptions, which was first, and his passer rating was 69.1. I have him so low, and I wanted to put him higher. The thing is, losing Devontae Adams is huge, and I don't think Lazard being a number 1 receiver, but he is. This is my other quote.
You know what's crazy about those 4 interceptions? 2 of them came in the first game.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that Aaron Rodgers is a magic man, and I think he does what he needs to do with what he has, and I think he's gonna do well. I believe he's gonna be higher than 10. I just couldn't put him higher than 10 because of that receiving core. It's such dog shit.
You're gonna be shocked because I don't have Aaron Rodgers in my top 10.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, the only reason I put him in there is because of last year his performance, and I know he had Devontae Adams, but I still think he has the ability to do this. He's a fucking goat, dude. I mean, he's not touchdown Tommy, but he's
not the GOAT because my number 10 is the GOAT. He's a 45-year-old man.
Woo! Jeez, you have him pretty low there, baby.
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous considering he threw for 5,316 yards. He had 43 touchdown passes. His completion percentage was 68.1%. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is crazy.
For a 44-year-old man.
Yeah.
At 44, I'm gonna be lucky if I can walk.
He looks so good too. He's a beautiful man. Yeah. I mean, maybe having your kids kiss you on the lips that keeps you going. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But
it's the diet and the preparation.
Yeah, it's the diet and preparation, honestly. Yeah, he has the weapons he needs in Godwin, Evans, Cameron Brate, Fournette, okay in his backfield.
They have Julio.
I totally forgot about Julio there, and I think he's gonna prop up Julio, and I think he's gonna kind of not Julio.
I would say a resurgence of Julio.
Yeah,
being not top receiver in the league, but one of the better receivers in the league, and kind of similar to what you saw in Atlanta.
Because they just have so many weapons in there in Tampa Bay.
Godwin can be ready. Close to week 1. I don't think he'll be ready for week 1. I think it'll be more like October if he comes back, maybe November. But they did lose Ryan Jensen on offensive line, and that's a big loss at center because he was ready to leave Tampa Bay before Tom Brady came back, and then he came back and he got the knee injury, and that's.
All right, Paul. Well, my number 9, controversial. People have him so high. I don't like him this year. Lamar Jackson, he's 25 years old. He had 2,882 yards. He had 16 touchdowns, or 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, a 50.7 QBR. He rushed for 767 yards, which is down from the last 2 years of 1,000 years.
Only 4 more yards than someone we're going to talk about a lot later in this list.
Yeah. It's down from his prior 2 seasons with 1,000 yards plus. Sorry. Oh yeah, he only has Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews. Sorry, I can't read my writing, so I wanted to type it out, but I totally forgot to.
I mean, this offense is built around the running game. It's built around the running game, and he's not going to be a proficient passer. It's you're kind of betting on him having 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be able to. I just don't. I don't think he's going to be able to find the gaps he did when, he was 22, 23 years old or whatever. I don't think he's going to be able to find it. I don't think he's going to be able to throw the ball. I don't believe, and I would love to be proven wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. I don't believe in Lamar Jackson. I think he's listen, I don't know a lot about him, but I think he's just an idiot. He's just an idiot. That's the easiest way I can say it.
I mean, playing football on the beach, and then he was again. They were playing beach football, and he's running towards their makeshift end zone, and he trips over a jet ski. Hurts his leg. It wasn't serious, but still, you're not.
Yeah, if it would have been serious. I mean, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
You're trying not to get paid? Like, this is your job.
The front flip in the end zone against the Chiefs last year really pissed me off because I was like, dude, you haven't made your money.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I would have more to say, but I don't believe he's going to be able to rush. I think that's the majority of his fantasy football points, and I think he's going to be able to let down. Yeah, I think people know how to stop his running game. I know they know how to fill his holes, and I think he's still a talented player, and I think he's going to get a decent amount of rushing yards, but I don't think he's going to be as fantasy productive as he was, 2
years ago. Yeah. Defenses figure out things quick. There's no such thing as lazy NFL teams anymore.
Yeah, true.
No, they're figuring him out, and if they figure him out, it's pretty much done if he can't work on his accuracy. Passing. And my number 9, I have Russell Wilson.
Yes. Mr. Unlimited.
Okay, so
I'm Mr. Unlimited. Okay, go ahead.
That's right. 3,313 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had 498 yards rushing and 89 yards rushing. I believe I said it. But I look at this and I say he's no longer in Seattle. Doesn't have DK Metcalf. However, he does have Jerry Jeudy, who was the best route running coming out of Alabama, his draft class, as well as Portland Sutton. This could be a very good offense.
No, he did have Tyler. He did have Tyler Lockett as well. I do not have him on my top 10 because I think he's
just incredibly accurate, and that's gonna come true. And then have you seen Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach of the Broncos, mic'd up?
No, I've not.
Aaron Rodgers had pounded the table with this guy, and seeing him mic'd up is just it is so awesome. He's just a total goofball, but he's like a Dan Campbell if Dan Campbell were just like a normal looking dude.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know how to describe him, but he's awesome.
Well, yeah, I don't have him in my top 10 just because he did have the weapons last year, and he's not able to run the ball. He doesn't really run the ball often, even though he is athletic and can.
He does have Williams there as well as Melvin Gordon, and I'm looking.
I think he's going to really help. He's going to help Denver out a lot, and I think they're going to be a pretty good team. I just don't think fantasy production is there. That's my concern with him. And then we can disagree, Paul. We can disagree.
I disagree. I disagree.
You are more of an expert than I am. At my number 8, very controversial, Kyler Murray at 25 years old. He had 3,787 yards. He had 24.
What is really crazy about this is I also have Kyler Murray at number 8.
Okay. So, nice. So, this is pretty low for some lists I've seen. So he 3,787 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 receptions, a 57.3 QBR. He had, I know this is, I'm saying only, he only had 423 rushing yards, and that's down from the year prior of 819.
But he had that on 88 attempts on the football.
True.
88 attempts. He was in 100.
That's crazy. But I'm just saying, he didn't run the ball as much. But, he had the yards there. And if he had more attempts, yeah, true. He was also down on rushing touchdowns from 11 to 5. So he got 5 last year. He has Christian Kirk. They added Hollywood there, which is going to help him with the deep ball.
No longer has Christian Kirk.
Oh, no longer has Christian Kirk. My apologies. Christian Kirk's gone. So you have Hollywood Brown there. He has Ertz. Hopkins is suspended for the 6 games.
Yeah, when he comes back.
And AJ Green. Which is, I still think AJ Green can do stuff. He can help out on the offense. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near a top receiver.
No,
he's old. They also have a pretty hard schedule, but I think Kyler Murray is coming into his favor, and I think adding Hollywood really is helping out the team. But yeah, losing Christian Kirk is gonna
really affect him because he was almost a 1,000-yard receiver last year.
Yep, leading receiver on that team. Okay, so at number 7, I have Jalen Hurts, 24 years old. So he had 3,144 rushing yards, which is 21st. He had 16 touchdowns, which was tied for 23rd. He had 9 interceptions, which was 8th. His QBR was 48.5, which was 19th. He had 784 rushing yards with 10 touchdowns. More than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Not combined. Sorry, I should say that. But more than both of them, which is insane. They added AJ Brown to that list with Devontae Smith and Zach Pascal with Dallas Goedert as a tight end. I think he's going to be a kind of sleeper quarterback this year because he has the mobility, but I also think he's able to throw that ball, especially throw the ball on the run. I think he's kind of slept out. I do believe he's coming into his form of being a good quarterback because he's rather young, 24 years old. Yeah. I think he's coming into his prime. What?
That in the national championship game against Georgia, they benched him for Tua Tagovailoa.
That's crazy.
Who threw the game-winning touchdown pass to Devontae Smith.
Damn.
But
yeah, I do believe he's coming into form. And yeah, I would say he's going to be higher than that, but I just can't. Just the name. I don't know. There's something just about the name. I just can't. I can't say, hey, he's going to be a top 5, Okay, you're number 7?
My number 7 is Dak Prescott. And you might not have Dak Prescott.
I do not have Dak Prescott on my list because I do not believe in Dallas Cowboys. I think they're going to fail this year. Yeah. And I think they're going to go 6 and whatever. I don't even think they're going to. They might get 6 games. They might get 7 games. Who knows? But they're not going to the playoffs. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. So, Dak Prescott, he had 4,449 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, completed 54.6% of his passes. I think, honestly, without Amari Cooper, it's going to be difficult for this team, but I do believe in CeeDee Lamb. I think this guy is a special type of talent, and when you have a special type of talent, you do lose Cedric Wilson. Hopefully, you get back Michael Gallup before November, but that's not guaranteed. I think this offense is going to run through CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, and Dalton Schultz.
Yes, you can believe that. I think losing Amari Cooper is detrimental to this team, and I think it's going to lead to a 6-win season. Moving on. Sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry. Listen, I know I love. Listen, but to say this, I do love Dak Prescott. I do love Ezekiel Elliott, and I love aspects of the Cowboys organization. But I just don't think it's there, and I don't think that team is solidified. I don't believe in Mike McCarthy. I think
I can understand.
I just don't believe in him. So at my number 6, I have Matty Stafford, baby. 34 years old. I know. Is he on your list?
No.
He's not on your list. He's on my list because he had 4,886 yards. That was third. He had 41 touchdowns, which is second. He had 17 interceptions, which was tied for 30th. And his QBR was 63.8, which is fourth. Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee,
Allen Robinson.
and sorry, I was just trying to read my my writing. And added Allen Robinson, which was underutilized in Chicago with. Yeah. Cam Akers is also back in that backfield, which I think is going to reestablish the running game into the prior form. I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad running game to begin with, but I think Cam Akers is just gonna it's a difference maker. And I think Matt Stafford is going to dump the ball off a little bit more. And I believe Matt Stafford is going to stick with as many yards as he got last year. And I mean, it's ridiculous. This guy, Cooper Kupp, baby. Cooper Kupp.
Should have been the MVP last year.
Should have been the MVP. That's crazy. Triple crown, no MVP. Yeah, I know I kind of figured he wasn't going to be on your list. And I was looking at his stats, and I'm just like, I cannot put him on there. I believe in him. I think he's fucking phenomenal, and I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he's going to do well. Also, sorry, I just want to say, Allen Robinson, I think is going to blow the fuck up this year. I think he's going to blow the fuck up.
Got a competent quarterback.
Competent.
Yeah. And my number 6, I have Jalen Hurts, and I have Jalen Hurts simply because I think the running game for him is just a huge factor, and it's only going to increase. You can also throw the football; it's pretty accurate. He has all those weapons there now.
Yeah.
Which they didn't have a year ago, and Devontae Smith a year under his belt, and you look at this and you say, okay, well, if Jalen Hurts, if you told Philadelphia's fans, you're gonna trade your first round pick, but essentially your first round pick is gonna be AJ Brown, and we're taking that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So right now you have AJ Brown, who's gonna help Devontae Smith with route running, who's already a great route runner himself, but help him kind of understand what defenses were trying to do to him to stop him. And this is going to be an explosive offense. I really believe that.
So my number 5, I have Joe Burrow. He's 25 years old. He had 4,611 yards. He had 34 touchdowns, which is 8th. He had 14 interceptions, which is tied for 24th. He had a 54.3 QBR, which is 12th. That receiving core is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. He is just fed. He just feed these guys all day. So his top 2 receivers are easily starting receivers on every other team. Every other team.
The youngest duo to ever each have 1,000 yards receiving.
Crazy. It's actually insane. And to add Tyler Boyd on top of that.
Tyler Boyd on top of that.
Oh my God. And Tyler Boyd is amazing. So you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Just absolutely phenomenal squad.
Not even to mention Joe Mixon, who
Mixon
made some excellent clutch catches for them.
Yeah.
Late in that season.
Being able to dump off to Joe Mixon if he needs to is just helped that offense out so much. I see him sticking to form. I have him a little bit lower just because he doesn't scramble. He's a pocket quarterback.
Yeah, but he's very accurate.
Yeah, very accurate. Does his thing, and yeah, he's gonna do well. He's gonna be a top 5 quarterback, and that's almost guaranteed. Okay, so number 4, because we both have it at number 5. My number 4, I got touchdown Tommy. Listen, I know the stats are fucking crazy. He hit 5,316 yards, which is fucking first. That's one of the main reasons why. But the 43 touchdowns was also first. and a QBR of 68.1, which is second. I mean, he's first in 2 categories here. He had 12 interceptions, was tied for 16th, which is not a lot of interceptions. That receiving core is phenomenal. He is missing Gronk though, and he's going to miss Gronk, and hopefully, I mean, maybe Gronk makes on retirement. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. It's touchdown fucking Tommy, dude, and I mean, I didn't believe it a few years back. I don't believe when he went to Tampa Bay. I truly believe now. I think he's going to be fine.
My number 4 is Lamar Jackson. Now the stats,
they aren't there.
Yeah, they're not there. The 16 touchdowns, the 13 interceptions, not what you want to see.
Not what you want to see.
But I honestly believe they're going to run him more. They're going to run him more and more and more and more and more. And you have KJ Dobbins coming back this year.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins. I'm sorry, people.
I'm sorry, folks.
I'm dyslexic. I'm 100% dyslexic. But with him coming back, he's going to be back in practice Monday. At least John Harbaugh says as much. And that's another running piece that you have to worry about. And they're going to kind of run the veer. We're not an NFL team to be able to do that. But
yeah, that is very weird.
Do that. They're going to do that, and they're going to do it well.
Yeah, I don't believe. I'm sorry, I don't believe. So, and my number 3, we might have the top 3 the same, maybe not. Justin Herbert, 24 years old.
Yeah, I believe we do. I believe we do.
Justin Herbert, 24 years old. He's 6'6". He threw 5,014 yards, which was second last year. 83 touchdowns, which is third. He had 15 interceptions, which was tied for 27th, and a QBR of 65.6. Great pocket passer, but he did have 302 yards on the ground, which is crazy. I didn't even know that. And he has thrown over 4,200 yards in his first 2 seasons, which is fucking insane. Which is actually insane. The kid came out in guns ablazing.
They are building an offensive line around him.
Yep.
They drafted a kid, a guard out of, I believe, God, I want to say Cincinnati. No, it was not Cincinnati. But Jets is a guard. And they have Rashawn Slater there, who was a breakout offensive tackle last year, who really should not have fallen to 13 in 2020, but did for some reason. But I look at this team. I believe he actually went to UCLA. I could be wrong about that, but the guard. But you get Keenan Allen back. You have Austin Eckler there. I mean,
Mike Williams,
who was a breakout contender last year. Honestly,
yeah, crazy. The kid can throw the ball. He's great. He's phenomenal. So let's move on to number 2, Patty Mahomes.
Yep.
Patty Mahomes, 26 years old. He had 4,839 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, which is 4th. His yards were also 4th. He had 13 interceptions, was tied for 19th, and a 62.2 QBR. He had 318 rush yards, which is up from 2020 of 308. He's losing Tyreek Hill, which is gonna definitely hit his production maybe a little bit though, but hinder his production. But he's also a wizard, just like Aaron Rodgers. Like I said earlier, he's a wizard. He can make shit happen. Truly. I think he's gonna have to run the ball a little bit more. I think he's gonna have to scramble out of the pocket. He's gonna have to go down the field. The running game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is okay, but he's nothing.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at whether I honestly think McKinnon's going to be a bigger part of this offense than a lot of people.
Yeah, I think listen, Patty can get the shit done. That's what I think. You give him people to catch the ball. I think he can get him to
I think it's gonna be a lot of what we saw last year was Stinkin' Duck, and they're going to play cover 2 shell on him, and he's going to have to find the opening in the shell, and just that's why I think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to shine for him.
Yeah, and fucking wizard. All right, number 1, baby, Josh Allen. Yeah. He's 26 years old. He had 4,407 yards, which is 8th. 36 touchdowns was 7th. 15 interceptions was tied for 27th. He had a 60.7 QBR, which is 6th. He had 763 rush yards, which is up from the year prior of 421. 6 rushing touchdowns, which is down from the year prior of 8. The defense is going to keep him on the field. That defense is stellar. We talked about him last week. That defense is stellar. Going to keep him on the field, keep his production high. He is the main running back on that team. Let's be realistic. He's the main running back, and I know they added James Cook. And yeah, he might help out, but again, Josh Allen is a running back
Cook is about
quarterback.
75% of what his brother is in Minnesota. Then we're looking at a really scary offense.
Yeah. And also he has the visor this year, so I think it's game over. I think
it's like
it's sick. It's so sick.
Like a amber colored visor.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, he looks so fucking cool.
It reminds me of Madden 06 where you were able to put the visors on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait until he's on the Madden. What 20? Is it gonna be 23? 24. Yeah, he's gonna be a Madden 24 cover when he wins the Super Bowl this year. Let's be realistic. They're fucking winning the Super Bowl. There's no.
If he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck Madden. Those fucking pieces of shit. Not John Madden himself, but EA. Those fucking pieces of shit. Scumbags.
John Madden, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. R.I.P. Yeah, I kind of figured we'd have the top three very similar. Yeah, those are all three stellar dudes, and I wouldn't mind taking those guys in a decent round, but also it depends on your league too. If you're some leagues have the two quarterback depth.
Yeah. Honestly, you have to play it by feel. I've won 3 of these. I've won this 3 times.
All right, so quit flexing on me.
I'm flexing on you because I'm telling you that you got to play this by feel, and you got to believe in. You're gonna feel in your gut who you should take, and you're gonna kind of say, "Oh, well, maybe I should take this guy. Maybe I should take this guy." Trust your gut, and then have a plan. Because especially like when you're going from that, like, I guess the second to third round turn, and it's coming back towards you, you have kind of the list of guys that you're saying, okay, this guy's still here, this guy. If this guy's still here, this guy. If this guy's gone, then this guy. And you just kind of have to play it like that.
Yeah, it also depends on what, your league, just having, I know some leagues have 2 quarterbacks, 2 quarterback league, which is crazy,
Whether it's PPR
or super flex where you can have a quarterback, which is absolutely insane, you might want to draft one of those 3 guys, pretty early, but, yeah, it's all dependent on you, but, also depending on how many people you have in your league, if you have a 12-man, or from 8-man to 10-man to 12-man to even 16.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking insane. You might want
brackets and
the
top team from each bracket gets in the playoffs.
That's crazy. But anyway, that's our top 10 quarterbacks and tight ends. Next week we'll have our running backs and wide receivers. We might delay that until the week after.
Just because we're kind of lining up with our draft, which is 15 days from now.
Yep, and we don't want to, give our adversaries some stuff. No, I'm just kidding. It's just the time aspect, getting everything in there, and plus I want to spend a little bit more time on running backs and wide receivers. Arguably, the meat and potatoes of fantasy football.
It is the meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
and that's what you're going to be drafting most of.
Okay, well, anyway, we'll catch you next time. And yeah, stay tuned for that.